Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. And this is the Special Grade Sorcerer D.
This is Modi.
I'm shaking my head.
Special Grade Sorcerer Modi.
Fair enough.
I've unlocked a new curse technique because all the hatred that happens on Twitter.com, now it's called X instead of Twitter.
I thought it was called Key.
No, it's called X. What are you talking about? Is that a
It's
joke?
a
I didn't get
reference.
it. Okay. And I call my special curse technique, since it's used as videos on Twitter, X videos. And if you want to learn more about my cursed X videos technique, look up X videos on google.com. And you'll learn a lot there.
You know what? A lot of words, but I can dig it. And
yeah, that's my title.
We are talking about Jujutsu Kaisen episode number. What did you guys think?
4. Okay, so my opinion on Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole is going right pretty much just to sum up my thoughts before we get into it. If Jujutsu Kaisen keeps going like it has in season 2. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. If Jujutsu Kaisen keeps going like it has in season 2, I can actually see it reaching Attack on Titan tier for me, Full Metal Alchemist tier for me, Hunter x Hunter tier for me. I can see that happening because this has just been insanely good, unbelievably good. I love it.
For me, I definitely think this was some 10 out of 10 anime with a few 3 out of 10 moments. I definitely like a lot of the interaction between Gojo, Geto, and I'm going to call her Old Yeller Girl or something like that. I really enjoyed a lot of the fight scenes and no Scopey, that's what I was thinking of. I'm sorry, my sense of humor is horrible right now.
Good.
I definitely enjoyed a lot of their interactions. I liked a lot of the animation and cinematography, even though I feel like the cinematography sort of outweighed some logical points. The animation was definitely on fire these last couple episodes. There were a few shots where some of them didn't connect as well as they could have, and you can definitely feel that different animators were kind of working on different shots without as much continuity between different animators, for another better term. But that all aside, I think it was very well executed. I love the explanation of I love the use and execution of the power system in these last couple of episodes. And all in all, I thought it was a really good time.
Matt?
Somebody let an art student onto the team. And I think they forgot that they were making an anime.
Yes.
Because there's so many shots where it's just relaxing. We're just oh, this is nice. Look at nice nature. Look at this cool butterfly. That's neat. Look, these guys are just having fun. They're just having fun in the water. And I think that really helps kind of sell these few episodes of especially when they go for the whole, oh, isn't it tragic that she died or whatever. I've watched a season and started watching the second season, these past few episodes. I need someone to explain to me in the most simplistic way possible, what the fuck is Gojo's powers, please?
Okay.
His powers are being Gojo, so he can basically, what I kind of interpret it is he controls gravity, so he can either use the color blue to attract things to a singularity. He can use the power of red to repel things. He can use no color to stop things. And then he can have them act all at once and basically create a black hole kind of thing.
Okay.
And also, the thing that makes him special, because all that stuff is part of his clan, everyone in his clan has the limitless power that does all that stuff. Although you have to be very strong to even do the red or the purple thing that he did. But the thing that makes him special is his eyes. He has eyes that can see stuff, but that hasn't been explained. So
Eyes that can see stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I
don't
do.
need to go into detail. Yeah. But that stuff hasn't been explained. Like that specific power, I don't think has been explained yet. So I don't think we're supposed to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But essentially, yeah, like Dee said, he can attract and repel stuff, and to different degrees. So like slowing it down is just attracting it slowly, you know.
See, when you guys explain it,
stopping.
it makes sense to me. I just when the show kept on bringing up his powers, and I just was really confused the entire time, which is on me, but also just like I don't know.
It was also like especially because a lot of the time when the power is being explained, it was during a fight, so it was kind of like in between fast-paced cuts and stuff like that. So,
and I think the terminology they were using like over and over again was just kind of like maybe this is like a translation thing or something.
I don't think it is, because I think it's like a meme, I think, with the author, that like he uses like math terms and things to like, but he even admitted he has no idea what he's talking about when he talks about the math stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, and I guess actually, never mind. I'll save that for later.
Listen.
But-
I'm just happy this is an author who thought out his power system, is fairly consistent with it, and at least plays like. I like that this power system has rules and they can use them in different ways. I like the idea that what's his name, Toji, gave up his like ability to use curse energy just to make himself super stronger. And I like the idea of him just using like either cursed objects or just having a giant like magic bag demon sitting in his stomach so he can just call up whatever weapons he really needs. I thought that was a really interesting, like, I really liked the whole, I really liked his character, I really liked a lot of his fight scenes, and if only he played the I have no enemies card when he needed to.
Yeah. I wonder, is he, I thought that he was still alive, so, I mean, at least in, like, the current day, so,
He is.
or maybe I'm wrong about that.
I remember
he is.
seeing
okay,
him.
so pretty much, okay.
Oh my god, they acknowledge that ghosts exist in this universe, and I'm really hoping there's a fight scene where the main character just kill a person, and then he just respawns instantly as a ghost, and they have to kill the ghost.
Oh, that would be so good. That would be so good. I feel like that's honestly something that you can't miss up if you're Jujutsu Kaisen. You have to do that.
But yeah. So for the first episode we watched, I thought, like I said, I agreed it was very nice. I think my biggest issue with sorry. We were doing. Never mind. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I have something that I want to talk about because this is something that like has been a running theme, right? And this right now, I finally watched a series that does it in the way that I've been talking about, and I can ask Matt because he's seen it now too. So Matt, what did you think about the inner monologues during these fights?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I kind of kept on switching back and forth. I think sometimes it went like a little bit too far, but I feel like they did some interesting things during the fight. Like at first, I was going to complain about the scene where they're in the back rooms, Japanese back rooms. It's just the only way I can call it. It's just like these empty like hallways. At first, I was going to complain about that. But I feel like it kind of justified itself in like really pacing out the tension of them like not fully fighting each other, but like trying to analyze each other, and then like it's suddenly everything comes out at once, and they have like a big action sequence. Like I feel like that was paced well enough to where I thought like I kind of went back on my you know what, actually this was it being done well. And like in general, these past few episodes, there's only been like some times where I'm like, okay, this is getting a little bit tiring. Just I get it, move on. But I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen in general is better at like pacing these out and letting the action kind of speak for itself sometimes.
I definitely really like that's one of the things I've always kind of wondered about how to do right, and that being like the whole exposition dump that a lot of anime do. A lot of anime does. So I noticed that for sometimes with something like One Piece or even like Naruto or even Dragon Ball Z, the characters sitting around monologuing about like powers and everything can feel a bit tiring. But then you have something like JoJo's or Jujutsu Kaisen, and the characters just sit there and fully explain their powers and everything. And for some reason, it works really well. And I can't tell if it's because the speaker is so engaging, so the character, the voice actor, really sells it, or if it's just the quality of what's being said is what's keeping me interested.
I think it's the quality because so after hearing Matt's description now I understand what his actual problem is with a lot of the inner monologue stuff. I mean, and he said it before. To be fair, it's just that they explain stuff that doesn't need to be explained. But I think the difference here with Jujutsu Kaisen and with like Hunter x Hunter and with like JoJo, they don't explain stuff that they don't need to explain. Like those fights, like that fight in the hallway, the fight with Gojo and between Gojo and Geto, like those fights couldn't be if they didn't have those parts where they were like doing the analysis. Like those were part of like the building of the tension of the fight. Whereas if it's just something like someone explaining, boringly explaining his powers and like something that could have already been, could have just been shown, then I think that's probably where people have problems. So pretty much my conclusion is that Matt just hasn't seen good enough anime. That's all it is.
Okay, you know what's something I really want to see upcoming? So they established that if you tell someone like how your power works, it gives it a power boost. I really want a scene where where one of the villains or something tries to do that, and the main character just plugs their ears and just goes like la 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 la, I can't hear you, blah 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 blah, and you just have the villain just trying to scream out the power ability.
I thought that scene was also really good too, because also it's not everyone who has that, right? I think it's just that's like part of his power, Toji's power, that like if he explains it, it makes his stronger.
No, it's everything.
Okay, so everyone who explains their power makes them stronger.
Yep.
Okay, so I thought that was really good because the fact that even me, I was thinking like at that part when Toji was like laying out his powers completely for what's his name, for Geto.
Yeah.
I was thinking like this kind of feels out of character for this guy, right? And then it's like just at that moment they cut it off and he's like, I know what you're doing. And like not only did they kind of call it out, but they called it out in a way that actually made it relevant not only to the plot but also to the fight right then. So I thought it was like really well done.
Yeah.
I think it's very refreshing to see Gojo panic and lose.
For sure.
I think it really also helped establish how much of a threat Geto was as well, or not Geto. Who's the villain? Toji. Okay, how much of a threat Toji was?
Honestly, that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go.
I was gonna say like that's a part of Gojo's character I wish would get pushed out more, because think about it, he's like the most famous guy on the planet. He's one of the most strongest like Jujutsu sorcerers and everything. So I like the idea of like if someone approaches him, they have a plan and they are dangerous. Yeah. They're either top tier dangerous or they're freaking dumb as bricks. And I like that. Yeah, they play that up. It's like, holy shit. Everyone who's willing to face me like this has an idea of how to take me down. They've planned this shit out.
Yeah. And I think it also like justified later on, like him, like when he comes back and he's just like all bloody, which is like the most terrifying shit. Where it's like I just killed this guy and all of a sudden he's like in front of me, just floating in midair. It's like, I feel like that's another thing where it's like, okay, you can have your whole monologue stuff here. I get it. It's fine here. Like,
I don't know if you guys seen the movie It Follows, but one of the so the way it works is there's this monster that can like shapeshift into different people, and it doesn't do anything. It just follows you until it like catches up to you and kills you. So it has like, they do this really fun cinematic trick where you have two characters on opposite sides of the screen talking to one another, and the center of the screen you'll just see someone slowly walking towards them, and it's the whole like the fear of like, is that the monster? Is that the monster?
Yeah.
And I feel like that would have been a really effective technique where you have like Toji talking with his like handler, and while they're talking, you just see Gojo just slowly walking towards them in the background.
Yeah, that would have been fun. I'm fine with what they did too. It's just like they.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that would have been interesting. Just very
I just
nice
love
stuff. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
I love the fact that like Gojo was like, "Hey man, no hard feelings. It's all good." And I love how like this could be. I love how like easily they could have both walked away from that unharmed if like Toji didn't want to try to like fight the end boss unarmed, underleveled.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Like Toji, like so in the middle of the fight, Gojo mentioned how he has no hard feelings towards Toji for killing Amane, and then how Toji never really was talking about how he never really does anything unless he's being paid.
Oh,
so I just love
okay,
the idea
okay.
of like he could have just been like, you know what, I'm not getting paid. See ya. Have a good one. Have a good life, Gojo.
Well, I even like when he tells himself like this is a bad idea. Something's off. Something's off. Like he says that to
Yeah.
himself multiple times. And again, I feel like that's something like interesting you could do with inner monologue is him act like we see that he's acting at like out of like his instinct. Like he, despite him knowing that something's wrong here, he doesn't give a shit and is like too confident enough to like put that down. Even like see that regret later on. It's like normally I would walk away, but this time I fucked up. You know.
What did you guys think he meant when he talked about when he like was dying and he said that Megumi is going to be getting sold to the Zenin clan? What do you think he expects Gojo to do about that?
I think he kind of like had like if I wanted to interpret it, I think it was like a last minute like, oh shit, I'm a father, I'm about to die. Might as well make sure my kids looked after for some just in case.
Okay.
I don't honestly wonder if he has something planned with Megami because like that did seem like almost like a I have a son that's being sold off. Do with that information that you will, knowing that Gojo is probably going to go to him and take him in.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm wondering is like if it's like part of a scheme or if he's like I don't know if he seems like the character who like genuinely cares about like has that moment of like, oh, I'm a father, I should be a good father sort of thing. Like I wonder if there's like something with Megami now.
I feel
Plus,
like I feel like Toji at that isn't the kind of character who would think that far ahead in that kind of moment.
Yeah. Plus, I wonder, like, even what he would expect. I'm just confused because I don't know what he would why he would expect Gojo to care at all. like if I'm Gojo, why do I care? Like, what does Gojo even gain from raising Toji's son, or if that's what he intended? It doesn't really make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so another thing, this kind of goes off of what I was like what I talked about earlier with the inner monologue thing. But I really like how this is this. It's really interesting because it's almost like between season 1 and season 2, like between these two arcs, like the author just did. I don't know. Did he decide to just evolve or something? Like, yeah, I know. Like, I just don't get it. Like, where were you? Where were you in season? Like, where was this? I don't understand why. It literally feels like a different writer.
Listen, it's obvious what happened. The writer got stabbed in the head, and then it unlocked his writing ability.
Yeah, maybe so.
Everyone knows if you get stabbed in the face, you get writing powers.
Yeah, because I've been hearing a lot about, like, for years now from manga readers about how Jujutsu Kaisen is like trying to be like Hunter x Hunter or something, and I didn't really buy into the hype at all until now. And now I'm like, wow, they're actually serious, and it's actually like really good. I'm just a sucker for like all the like the mind games types of stuff, and
it feels like
like
such a shift. You're right, because like before it's just like you would have this super complicated power system, but it never felt like it really justified it. All the powers seemed very straightforward, but now the fact that there's so much more thought and more thought into the execution and the strategy behind it, it feels like he just leveled up like 20 points out of nowhere.
Yeah, like the fights are way more interesting now. And not even the fights, but like the entire scenario. Like the way that Megumi not Megumi, the way that Toji like trapped them and like, pretty much had them checkmated from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And how even not even just Toji, but Toji's handler guy, like even he had like a plan within the plan. So it was like really, it's so interesting to me just how he just completely changed up his writing style, like in this arc. It's really cool. And also, I've just been hearing for so long about how good the Shibuya incident is, but I haven't really heard anything about the flashback. So if the flashback is this good, I can't even imagine how the Shibuya incident's gonna be. Like, I can't wait for that now. Yeah.
Like, I've been hearing about the Shibuya incident ever since like the first like couple of episodes for season 1 came out.
Yeah, same.
This is okay. You know what? This is like, I'm trying to cut myself off from that as hard as possible, because people were hyping up like episode 19 of Demon Slayer like it was like the second coming. So like, part of me wonders if this is going to be another instance of that.
I hope not. Well, I would have been in that camp up until I watched these last 3 episodes, like, because I've always just been skeptical of what people say about Jujutsu Kaisen, especially because like when the first season started airing, people were saying it was like the better version of Naruto. So I just pretty much disregarded everyone's opinion because of that. But now I'm starting to change my mind. Like, people are right. And also, I feel like all my predictions are crumbling because everything's changing. Like, I don't think Gojo's going to be evil anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm so confused.
I'm going to laugh my butt off so hard. If it's the kind of situation where it's like, if the writer can get 10 times better between an arc, can they get 20 times worse? And the Shibuya incident is just the most meat-headed shonen stuff you could ever imagine.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me either. Because I know that kind of thing would get hyped no matter what. So I guess that wouldn't surprise me. If it does, I'll be so confused though. Like, that would just be the wildest. This would be the wildest roller coaster of a series if that happened.
That's why I'm interested to see what they do, like, for the modern, like, back with Yuji and friends. Like, I wonder if they're going to be as, like, even just the art direction these past few episodes have been really inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're going to, like, be able to apply that to the, like, characters we have now. Like, I'm curious to see what they do with that.
Oh, yeah.
Or if this was, like, a one-time thing, you know? But, yeah, go on.
I was going to say, like, because the art direction in this is so much more striking. Because, like, in the first season, all the shots just felt very, I won't say basic, but they didn't feel like they tried too much to be super artistic.
Yeah.
Whereas, this season, from, like, the lighting, from the, cinematography to just, like, the framing, it's so good.
Even the sound. Like, the way they use that for, like, transitions and things like that, this is actual film right here. It's crazy.
Even towards the ending where he's just standing there and there's, like, people, like, clapping in front of him. And it's, like, all white, and there's, like, a thing, like, underneath him that, like, you know, like, darkness underneath him.
See, that's the thing. That's one of my complaints, though, because it feels like it's one... Like, I think that moment and the moment when they're trying to, like, plan on how to, like, rescue the maid... Those felt like moments where cinematography and art overtook logic. Like, this random-ass high school student just walks in, steals, I'm assuming it's, like, one of your religion's holy, like, items now, and you're just clapping for him. I'm pretty sure this dude definitely caused some collateral damage to your property. Why are you just clapping? Or it's the whole scene where, like, they're playing on how to rescue Kuroi, and then Amane is just sitting behind, like, a random gate separating her and, like, Geto and Goji. Because I guess it's supposed to represent the barrier between them coming down, but at the same time it's like, why? Why would you do that? They kind of just saved you. What's with the whole, like, obvious metaphor being obvious?
I would have to be honest, I wasn't even thinking that hard about those elements of it, so you're probably right. I guess.
Speaking of bears coming down, one of my favorite scenes was when they it's so crazy, like, because throughout the whole time when they were like out and trying to protect the girl, I forgot her name too.
Amane.
There was always Amane, and there was always tension about, like, what was going to happen. And right when they enter and you're like, okay, they're behind the barrier, I actually thought, I was like, okay, so what's going to happen now that they're like, they're safe. And then the moment he turns off his power, Toji's there and he stabs him. And it was a similar thing too when they were in the middle of the fight after Gojo had already like destroyed all the buildings around him, and he was like, oh, he went after the girl, right? And then the moment he turns like to go after her, Toji's there again. Oh my god, Toji is so tough.
I even thought that's what he was doing. I thought he was going to go after the girl while Gojo was distracted. I was actually surprised. Like, damn.
Yeah. But what he did was smart, though. But you know what I was thinking, too? Like, when Geto and... it wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day. But when Geto and Gojo split up, like, after Gojo got stabbed and he was like, I'm fine, you go with her and I'll stay and fight this guy. To me, it doesn't make any sense strategically to let the injured guy, even though he says he's fine, like, it would make more sense to have him go with her and then he stays and fights, Toji. But, yeah, pretty crazy.
I'm just picturing the awkward conversation when they get back. Geto being like, yeah, I told her that she needed to like fuse with Lord Kengan. I was super serious about it, but she was just like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to live. And then boom, she just got shot in the head. Did everything I could. God.
That scene too. Oh my! Like, now that I think about it and I'm like talking about it and laying it out, Toji's just really he's a really crafty guy, isn't he? Like, he just waits until the right moment to strike and he gets the job done. I want to hate him, but the more I talk about it, I think I kind of like Toji.
I'm just picturing him like aiming the gun, just like, say yes, come on, do it, refuse to go down there, come on, do it.
Don't kill my dramatic tension, come on.
I want to make the metaphorical audience feel really bad when she says yes, and I have to suddenly destroy that. Yeah.
The fact.
Yeah. Go on.
Sorry.
No, you go.
I was gonna say the fact that he fights with a pistol too is just like, bro, this is so cool. Like, you have all these people fighting with like their cursed spirits and their swords and their weird medieval weapons and bats and whatever, and he's like just a gangster.
it does feel like powers. The meme of like in Harry Potter, if like someone just went in there with a gun and just like shot Voldemort. Yeah. And, like, what the fuck is he gonna do?
This is my gun. It can do only one spell, but it's a damn good one.
Hey, how come his gun actually kills people, but the other lady's gun
because it
like just
bullets.
Knocks you back? Okay, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
I think that was the thing. Like, her gun like fired like cursed energy, where Toji just fired out pure, unmitigated American lead.
She just like put bullets in her gun too, and just I guess she's not meant to kill other sorcerers, but yeah.
One thing I was wondering about is I don't get, maybe it's like some exposition that I missed in season 1 or something, but I don't get how there are civilians like the maid, that know about sorcerers. I thought sorcerers were supposed to be like unknown to like the common, the normal world. But it seems now like there are people. I understand the religious group, but I don't understand like the maid, for example, where she's from and like why she even knows about sorcerers.
So I will say on one end, you can't just like have random buildings just get yeeted from existence and not have people trying to like research what's going on. But I think like Amane's family was deep into that sorcerer community, and that's why like the maid knew about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I'm
so salty they got her. They let her get kidnapped off screen too. I'm still wondering like how the hell did Geto even let that happen?
Twice, mind you, that happens.
That's why it had to be off screen.
I Oh my god, when like you have that like as soon as we saw the shot of just like Gojo lying lifeless with the fly like hovering around his eye, I thought we were just gonna jump cut to like the present day and Gojo just be like, and that's how I got out of that situation, class.
It was like really ballsy of them to be like, okay, we have to rescue the maid. Oh, okay, we have to fight these two guys that just ambushed us, and then just to be like, fuck that, you guys don't need to see that. We're skipping that. We got a story to tell.
This might be the one criticism I have. I don't think that was ballsy. I think that was just bad because I don't get like they clearly set something up when like when they were in that alleyway and he was like, if you come, you better not cry about it if something bad happens, right? They're clearly setting something up, but then they cut to them all like everything's fine. So I just don't get what happened there.
Also, they mentioned
a glitch in the system.
They also mentioned they drove like cross country to get her to the location. And then, like, all that stuff literally had to happen within, like, 12 minutes. So, like, the whole timing for that is just so bizarre.
No, wait, they took a plane.
No, like, Gojo and Geto took a plane. I think the, kidnappers took a truck.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're so right. That's true, they just teleported there or something.
Wait, what was the scene with Nanami? Being like were they supposed to like meet up with? I forget what that was about.
Yeah, that's true. That's another part.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
I saw, like, question.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Question: when you saw Nanami, did anyone else hear like the stock audience like cheer sound effect in the back of your mind?
That was me. I literally actually did cheer. I was like, "Oh, Nanami's here," because he's like my favorite one in part 1. So in season 1. So
I pointed at my screen and just like fully pogged out. I was happy.
I could not get the like film in front of a live studio audience cheering out of my head when I saw him appear.
But actually, now that I think about it, I don't think it was purely fan service, because if it was just fan service, they wouldn't introduce that other character that was with Nami. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that he's probably going to show up when we get back to the current time. So they're probably like just foreshadowing him or something, or like setting him up. Yeah.
That was a weird thing about this arc. I guess I don't know how much longer we have, which I'm curious about what the next episode is going to be about. But just like the fact that it's mostly just been the two of them, and the other like sorcerers will pop up here and there, but for the most part, they've not really spent a lot of time with the other sorcerers.
Yeah, I think so. There's one more episode in the flashback, and then after that, they're going to be like on their break. So next week's the last episode of the flashback. And to answer your question, I think probably my guess is, well, actually, I don't think it's very hard to guess, because in season 1, we kind of like saw that Geto was like the leader of like the bad guys that were going after Jujutsu Kaisen High School. So this is probably setting up, the conflict, and Gojo's clearly the top guy at the school. So I guess this is like setting up the backstories, and like I guess when we get back to the present, it's probably gonna we're gonna have more context when we see them go against each other.
Yeah.
I'm really interested.
Go on.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it is that turns Geto evil, because I like, from this flashback, he's like probably my favorite character in the flashback. So like, as I'm watching it, the more I watch, the sadder I get, because I know how his story ends. So I just really like, I'm so curious to see what it is, what makes that happen.
Oh yeah.
I hope they show that in the next episode.
You know what? They can just have it happen off screen. It'll be all good.
That'd be so bad.
Let's go lower this down a couple points if that's the case.
That would be yeah.
Is the scene where like Gojo walks away? No, what I was expecting? Like, the scene where Mane calls like Geto the bangs guy?
Yeah.
You just have like the whole like you have that moment, and then it just cuts back to the present, and then that's just Geto like, and that's how I turned evil.
No, Gojo like drinks the last soda in like in a box, and
you get the whole.
It doesn't even throw it away.
Like,
yeah.
You have the whole like Telltale Games, like Geto will remember that tag appearing.
And that's how I turned evil.
I also thought
yeah, go on.
that scene in the chapel scene where he shows up looking for Amane, and then all the girls are going crazy over him, but then also the teacher. That was a funny scene. And also I like the fact I really like Gojo, man, like, because usually in anime, right, if you have a bunch of girls like who are like going crazy for some character, that character is usually just gonna be like aloof about it, or like be like, this is weird, right? But he just plays right into it. Like they're like, take off your glasses. He's like, okay, and he takes off. I would do the exact same thing. I would just be like him if that was me.
See, and that's the thing. That's why like Gojo has like the whole blindfold and like or the bandages. Like he drops too many pants. Okay, like every time he like walk, it's not about like limiting his power. It's about limiting the riz.
Oh, I just realized why he wears the shades. It's because of his eyes.
Yeah.
He just upgraded
Yes, that's why he wears shades.
Yeah, okay. And he just upgraded to blindfold when he got older. Okay, I see. Or downgraded, honestly.
It makes him look more goofy, which I think fits him.
Yeah.
But
I
also,
honestly
now
like
that I
the
think
shades
about it...
way more than I like the blindfold.
Yeah, me too. But also, now that I think about it, when in season 1, whenever we saw him take off his blindfold, I don't think he ever had his power off. Like, his eyes were always glowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here in the flashback, there's times when his eyes aren't glowing. So I'm wondering if, when he got older, did he learn how to pretty much just keep his eyes on all the time? Or maybe is there some defect or some malfunction or something that happened that made it so that he can't turn it off, and therefore he has to have the blindfolds on?
Didn't we see him do that though? Like after he died, he came back and his eyes were even bluer, and like, because even Geto comments and be like, "Well, what happened to you? Like, what's up with your eyes?" So I think this is where it happened, where he's like, I think he like unlocked his third eye essentially and had his grimace technique or whatever. Like,
okay, so you're saying from here on, this is from this point is where he pretty much won't turn off his powers.
I think so. Yeah.
It would be a good like piece of character development where like he let his guard down that one time and it got someone he was friends with killed, so now he just doesn't turn it off anymore.
Yeah, that's another thing about it too, which is that like he was set up at the beginning of the flashback as like very, I mean, he hasn't really changed in that regard. Like he's still really cocky. He's even more cocky actually now. But he was actually, you know what? I was going to say he was punished, but he really wasn't punished because he did everything right. He went above and beyond. He kept his power on.
He got rewarded.
Days. He didn't sleep. Yeah, and he waited until he got past the barrier to turn his power off. He did nothing wrong. Toji's just that good. Like so, yeah. I don't know. I guess yeah. I was gonna say it was like a kind of like a moment like to humble him because for being so arrogant. But like even though he's arrogant, from what I've seen, like he's still. It's not like he lets his guard down, you know?
Right.
I don't know how much of this is a complaint or more so like wish fulfillment stuff, but I kind of wish there's a little bit more between the relationship of the girl and both of them. Especially like after she died, it was kind of like whatever.
Honestly, I kind of find it funny when like Gojo has like no hard feelings because he literally just met her 2 days ago, like a week ago.
Well, I know, but like I think you were just thinking about the like being upset that like this person didn't want this fate and it was thrown onto them, and the fact that like even though she didn't want it, they weren't able to save her. Like I get like you just met a person and you're not gonna want to be like. You're not gonna like lose too much sleep over them, maybe, but like still, like it would have been like a nice to have like a little bit more reflection on their part, being like, this girl is dead because of the organization that we worked with, and we met her, right, and we had like moments with her, like they saw the moments with her, you know, and we don't really like get to see much of that reflection from them.
I mean, like
it's like fine, but yeah.
I feel like there wasn't time to, because Geto, I mean, in the moment she died, he literally had to just switch to fighting Toji. Like, he didn't really even have time to process it or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even if he did, he probably would have been like, no, I can't do that now. I need to focus on the fight. And then he lost the fight. For Gojo, I would agree. But, like, to me, self-awareness goes a long way a lot of the time, most of the time. So the fact that he acknowledges it and the author sees fit to make him acknowledge the fact that he's not even sad about it, to me, that makes it not only okay, but also, I think it's good because it reinforces the point of, like, the fact that he came so close to death that he, like, pretty much reached enlightenment and, like, nothing bothers him anymore. So, like, I think it was also even a good moment to show that, because it's like even her death, like, he didn't feel bad about it. He didn't feel the need to, like, necessarily avenge her with Toji or anything. It, like, drives home, like, this to me, like, the significance of, like, what he actually went through when he almost died.
But that, to be honest, the, like, pre-Gojo enlightenment and post-Gojo enlightenment aren't too different, like, as far as personality goes. Like, it's like a little bit different, but
yeah,
I still don't even see him as, like, season 1 Gojo that much either. I almost feel like it would have been interesting to see more of, like, maybe he does have an issue where it's like, I want to feel something about this person, but I've reached enlightenment and can't, and that sucks or something. Like, again, this is, like, all wish fulfillment stuff, so I don't actually count it against the show too much. But considering the show spent, like, the past few episodes spent, like, a good amount of time really having a slower pace and, like, having us, like, appreciate life alongside with her and, like, with them. It would have been nice to see, like, a little bit more, especially since we're now expected, like, now we have to resolve Geto turning evil and Gojo also changing somewhat. Like, I don't know how we're gonna do that in the next episode, because I feel like this incident would have been a great, like, would have been a great moment for that to happen. So, like, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really curious about that, because I also don't really see how it could happen. I would have expected it to happen now too, like you said. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Like, it would make sense.
I'm hoping it's not something bad.
It would have made sense for Geto after this being like, okay, well, the sorcerers are kind of dog shit, because, like, especially since I offered this girl the choice to, like, continue to live her life, and that, like, both sides wanted to, like, take that away from her. So, like, fuck all the sorcerers, fuck all that, I'm doing my own thing, sort of thing. You know?
Yeah. It's honestly weird because, if you ever, I don't know if you guys saw the movie, but you see that Geto has a very strong hatred towards, like, regular humans. So he's kind of like anime Voldemort in a sense. And he has a habit of, he always calls regular humans monkeys, similar to how Toji referred to himself as a monkey. So that also kind of puts a weird sort of wrinkle into that whole development cycle with his character.
Okay, yeah, that is a bit odd.
Because I know in a lot of the recent stuff, he's sort of been like a super pro sorcerer kind of thing, and it's like, it feels like they both went down opposite arcs based off what we've seen in this last couple of episodes.
Both? Who do you mean by both? Geto and who?
Gojo.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'll reserve actual judgment for, like, the next episode, but that's just something I'm thinking about with this.
Yeah, same. But okay, D, at the beginning you said you had, like, some 3 out of 10 moments. What were those?
My biggest 3 out of 10 moment was just them skipping to after them rescuing the maid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same for me, honestly.
The rest of the episodes were just really nice.
Yeah. I think I didn't mind it, because, like, they could have easily spent an episode on us recovering the maid, but which I wouldn't have minded either, but I feel like they just kind of wanted to move past. I mean, at that point, like, why even have that as a plot point? But like,
that's exactly it. Like, to me, I don't care that they skipped it. I just care that they set up. They really leaned into setting it up as if they were gonna go right.
Mm-hmm.
But then they didn't, so I thought that was real weird. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like the author, like 1 week, like he ended the chapter with that, and then he changed his mind for like the next chapter, like, oh, actually, I'm not going to show that, and then they just skipped it. That I feel like maybe that's what happened or something, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense.
Listen, he really wanted to get to that Gojo versus Toji fight. Okay, can you blame him?
Nope, not at all. I agree.
One thing I liked, you could easily, if you want to set up a character and have like two characters talking, you can easily just have them in a room and just like talk about stuff. But I like with Toji, whenever we see him like talking to people, he's in the middle of doing gambling in some form, like horse racing and stuff like that. Which, by the way, sets up him dying later too, to where he goes against his instincts to like, which ends up like killing him in the end, or at least defeating him. Whatever happens to him. Yeah.
Question: do you think Megumi is being sold because he took out a gambling debt? Like he bet his son on like a dice roll and he just rolled snake eyes.
I mean, I can see them doing that like in a more like larger level, where it's like, oh, I sold my son to Satan or something to get my powers, or you know, that kind of shit.
Or like,
wait, he doesn't have powers, right?
No, but he's got the little worm friend. So.
Oh yeah.
He traded Megumi for the worm friend. Listen, like Toji couldn't fit all the weapons he needed into his mouth, so the worm was only the logical step. I would have also liked the idea. I also like the idea that Toji made absolutely zero money from this entire endeavor because he had to pay back all the money he lost gambling it before the mission started.
Oh yeah.
And I also like the idea of like people coming to like Megumi in the future and just being like, yeah, your dad owed us a whole shit ton of money in gambling.
Wait, actually, no. I don't think he used that money for gambling. He used that money for the bounty, right? Like they gave him a deposit and then he used it for the bounty. And then after the job was over, they paid him like his actual earnings.
Yeah, no, he gave. I think it was like they gave him a deposit. He gambled all the deposit away, and then he just posted the bounty.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy amount to gamble.
But that's something that's really like telling about his character. It's like you're achieving a couple things at once by just having him talking while doing gambling stuff. It's like you're doing character work at the same time as like getting story stuff through, you know?
Yeah. God, this show's pretty good. I definitely feel like this is a really huge upgrade from season 1.
Yeah, I think so too. Although I always thought the groundwork was there. Like there was so much in season 1 that was like really interesting that I just don't like. I wanted them to do differently. I love the entire idea that the villain is inside me, and at any point I can make like a contract with him to like save my ass, but also risk being fully consumed by him. Like that's a really cool plot point.
You would love Naruto.
I'm trying to. Do you think he would like Naruto?
No, I don't. But just because it has that trope, he would like it. He would like it for that, at least, I guess.
See, that's the thing. I've been watching so much shonen. I'm having a hard time differentiating the stuff that's really smart versus the other stuff that's just meathead stuff.
I do think Naruto's smart. But I don't think that's what necessarily Matt cares about. So, yeah.
Like I said, like Naruto is an anime that is clearly an anime, whereas Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't think it relies as aggressively on tropes as most other shows.
Yeah. So that's another thing about Jujutsu Kaisen is that, to me, if it keeps going like this, I don't want to speak too soon, but it does feel like it's actually updating the meta for shonen a little bit. Like it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like it has some of the formulaic stuff, but it's actually innovating.
It updated the meta so much that it led to Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, updated the meta so much.
You have to wait.
Sorry, go on. Go on.
I was gonna say, usually you have to wait like 10 years before like another manga comes up and starts like building on your foundation. Freaking like Chainsaw Man came out the year after this guy.
They updated their meta so much that they actually write women into these shows now.
I know,
That's
right?
honestly, unironically, one of the biggest updates. Honestly, for Jujutsu.
Yeah.
We patched the women. They have personalities now.
The women
Yeah.
update.
Yeah.
Would you consider Amane getting fridged, though? I feel like she got fridged.
What does that mean?
Fridge is a weird.
one of-
I don't know. I don't think so.
So when a character gets fridged, they basically die. They either die or suffer for the development of another character, and they usually don't add any. They're a character that exists to suffer and die for the development of another person.
Here's the thing. I totally could have seen the thing. I could have totally seen the show continuing, or like all the stuff that happened. I could see happen still, even with her surviving like a little bit longer or something. Like I think a lot of time people just whenever a woman dies for a plot reason, people like to call it fridging, but I don't think that's the case here.
Yeah. And even if it was, I think it's so well executed that it works really well. It works really well.
Yeah.
It's not like the Green Lantern
That was
I don't even understand. I don't even understand the problem fundamentally with killing off a character for like stories do that all the time.
No. Okay, you misunderstood. Like so the term came from a Green Lantern comic where Hal gets a girlfriend who like he finds dead in his fridge. Like her entire purpose of existing was to die so that he could have character development. It's like a very common trope, especially with like women. That like this woman has to die despite having like no character to them just so that our character can go through like an arc or feel bad about something.
Okay, I see.
But she actually had character, and I think it serves more than just furthering Gojo and Geto's development, or I wouldn't call this fridging.
I agree.
Okay. Anything else you guys have to say about these last few episodes?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Matt,
I think
anything?
that's good. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Want to do ratings? You want to start us off, D?
Yep. So I am going to give this collection of episodes a 9 out of 10.
I'm going to give them. I want to say a 10, but I just feel like I don't want to get too caught up in my hype, so I'm gonna be very conservative and say 9.5.
See, if it weren't for the whole like them hand waving the maid getting kidnapped, and it was just like, oh yeah, we beat this clone guy, we need to like hide away somewhere else, and then they went into that, I think it would be a 10. That's the only thing that really sticks in my craw.
Modi,
Okay,
did you read the manga for this?
No.
Okay, because I'm actually curious if there was a lot more art direction, because like I'm wondering if in the manga this section wasn't actually that long, so they were able to fit in more character stuff, and I wonder if it's going to be business as usual when we return to like the main story. That's like one theory.
Oh my god,
That's a good theory. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. It could be.
you had me. Sorry, you had me going for a while because I thought you were about to say like. I thought you were about to say, like, if you haven't read it, I kind of want to read it now. I thought this was going to be the thing that makes you want to read manga.
No. I did express want to read One Piece, though, but we'll see if that happens.
I feel like there are worse mangas to start yourself off on reading than One Piece, so that's a good pick.
But anyways,
Okay, so...
Yeah, go back to reviewing, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so that has been our review of...
what was your rating, Matt?
Wait, I forgot. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, 8 out of 10. It's really good.
Dang!
I like the art direction, and it's like I think that if they continue to keep doing this, thumbs up, please do. I'd love to see the rest of the show like this. Yeah, go on.
I think it's the highest rating you've ever given.
Bleach had I gave like 20 Bleachillion, so
that's not a fair comparison, though. That's not a fair comparison.
You're right.
Wait, what did you give Superman?
I think the same.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
I really want to know what you would give it 10 to. I can't wait till we come across that.
Something like Breaking Bad, probably.
I think you would give a 10 to.
Well, okay. Would you give any animated? So then, does that mean that you pretty much wouldn't give
Arcane
any
would be a
animated
10 out
series
of 10. Arcane would be a 10 out of 10. Give me anime Arcane, then sure, we could do that.
Okay, I see.
Like Ghibli movies would be 10 out of 10. Like I really like Spirited Away. That'd be like close to 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Mo, do you think you would ever give Hunter x Hunter any part of Hunter x Hunter a 10 out of 10? Because there were a lot of really good non-anime moments in that.
Yeah, but I don't think so. I think it still has too much. I think it would like Hunter x Hunter, but I just think I don't think it would give it a 10 though.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like I'm going to reserve 10 out of 10 for shows like Arcane, for example, that really blow me out of the water, you know?
The revolutionary shows.
Yeah, like this is good. Like this is like pretty good. It's just I'm not, and so like I don't think it quite reaches like beyond like being like a great show, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so yep, that's been our review of episodes 2 through 4. Come back 2 weeks from now where it'll be Jujutsu Kaisen will be on break, but we won't. We'll be reviewing episode 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Thank you for watching and see you then. Bye.
Have a good one and bye.
Bye.